Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create the image files and the assets that you need to create a grand strategy game or just another game that needs a map with unique selectable provinces. So what we're going to do is to take real world data and process it through free and open source software, and on the other side get the files that we need. So the first and the most important file that we will get is the province image or province map, which is an image file that divides the world or the map area that you want into provinces, and where each province have their unique color code, so that the game later on can recognize that that color that province is contained within that color. And together with this image file, we will also get a text file that gives the province a unique ID, and it shows the color code of that province. So the first column here is the red value, then we have the green value, and finally the blue value. So this is the RGB color code. And then some additional information about the province, like is it an ocean province, is it a land province, is it plain, or what is it? And then we get a folder with all the different states. So a state is just a collection of the provinces. So the provinces can be grouped together. And then we get the normal map. This right here tells your game how to reflect the shadows. So it's usable in a 2D game to gain some depth, or a 3D game also to create even more depth than just the 3D of the map itself. Speaking of 3D, if you're making a 3D game, you also need the height map, which we'll get. So this one will basically make your mesh stand out more on the lighter pixels of this image. So for example, the Himalayas here will be much taller than basically the rest of the world. And the darkest points will be the lowest points of the mesh. Not strictly necessary, but in addition, we will also get some normal just images of the world itself, just to slap it on top and make the map more beautiful. And the same thing with the ocean floor that we will use to, or that we, that can be used to create the texture for the ocean, just to give it more life and the illusion of depth. To start off, we need to download the map data that we need. So we're going to go to the NASA site and find the topography files, which we will use to create our height map. This link and all other links are in the description. So we need to download all these GEPCO images. You can see that there's a A1, A2, so on, that just tells us how the files are supposed to be located, but we'll come to that later. For now, just select and download, and we need all of them. So now when you have downloaded all the 8 files that we need, ranging from A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, D1, and D2, then we can go to our next site. From here, we just need the map image that we like the most. Personally, I'm a fan of summer, so I'm going to grab this one July. And then you can just pick a resolution that you want. I'm going to go for the base one. Image file right here and download. Like so. Now when that is done, we need some more data. So then we'll go to naturalerthdata.com. Go to the downloads section. I'm going to go for the large scale data. So we can start with the physical data, which contains all the data that is, it's not man-made. It's so we at least need the land, and we need the ocean. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to get the lakes as well. Yeah, let's grab this guy. All right. Um, we also need to get some country borders so that the provinces will make sense. So let's go to cultural. Now we have like man-made data. So let's see. Yeah, let's take this one. Countries with boundary lakes. If you want, not only the countries to make sense, but also the smaller states, you can grab another one of these that has like a smaller division. Good. Now that we have the map data we need software to process it. So for that, we are going to use QGIS. As I mentioned, it's free and open source. So go ahead and download QGIS. Now, while we wait for QGIS to download, I'm just going to structure my files a little bit. So in the project file, I'm just going to create a new folder, calling it raw data. I'm going to paste in all the map data that we have just downloaded. So all the files for the height map, the natural earth data, and also the map image. Now we are in QGIS, the free and open source graphical information software that we just downloaded. So go ahead, click project and click new and create a new project like this. Then let's go to our folder with the map and the map data files that we downloaded. Select all the height map files, the ones that start with Gebco 08. Grab them and pull them into QGIS. Like so. Now we see the height map, but we can see that they are stitched together, but they have different values. That's because they align according to the values in each and every one of them. So what we need to do is we start on the top, right click, properties, and on the contrast enhancement, set to no enhancement. So then we just get the raw data in without any adjustments at all. So let's go ahead and do that to all of them. All right, like so. So now we see that they are stitched seamlessly together. So then let's put them all in the same group. Let's see. Okay, just like this, add group, and then select all the height map layers and put them inside that group. I will call the group height map just to have them all, together like so. All right, then let's move on, and we need to create a land map. So let's drag in the land, the ocean, and the lakes file, those three. Let's take them out of the height map group, like so. And make a new group and call it land map, like so. I can take that one on top so we can see clearly what we are doing. Okay, let's have the ocean layer on the bottom, then land and the lakes on top. So let's first start with the properties on the ocean layer. Okay, so we want to, of course, have fill, but we don't want to have any borders. So change that to no line. And the fill color, and this is very important. So I'm going to make it big on screen, but the color code needs to be this one. Okay, and apply. So, and then let's go to the land, properties, click simple fill, and then again change the solid line to no line. And the color needs to be this color code right here. And if you wonder why I'm so specific on the color codes, it's because we need them for the tool that we're going to use next. So just make sure that you get the color 100% right. And then lastly, we have the lakes. So again, do the same properties, simple, no line, and the fill color. Like so. That is our land map. Now that the land map is done, we need to go ahead and create our boundary map so we know where the country borders are going to be. So let's go back to our folder with all the map files. Like so, and drag in the one with the countries. And we also need another instance of the lakes and the ocean file. Like so. Now it seems like they got pulled into a group, so let's take them out. So actually, let's make a separate group for them. boundary map. Let's take that one on top. Let's put in the ocean first, and then the lakes, and take the countries on top. Like so, yeah. Okay, let's first open the ocean properties. Simple fill, remove the line, change the color to white. So, and let's do the same with the lakes. No line and white. Okay, and then we go to properties of the countries. Now for once we're actually going to keep the line, but we need to change from millimeters to pixels and change it to 2. Like so. And change the fill color to this gray color right here. Apply. Good. Now we actually have all the necessary files that we need. Just an FYI, and this is very important, when you go regarding the boundary map, so on the properties, on the line, it looks black, but it's not. But it's really important that this line needs to be pitch black. Otherwise, it won't work. So. Yeah, 000, perfect. Apply. Like so. So go ahead, or just to keep us a bit organized, let's go to our folder with the map data. Create a new folder. Just output QGIS, like so. And now we need to define the map that we want to export. So as you can see, as I move my mouse around, the coordinates on the bottom changes. So it shows the coordinate of my mouse at that point. So you need to define, okay, what do you want to export? The whole world map or just an area? So for example, if you just want to export, let's say, okay, I want a game just containing Great Britain. Then you see the coordinates. The coordinate changes as I move my mouse, so I need to figure out the north, south, and west and east point. So in this case, it will be like maybe I would start at -13, something like that, to 3. The top point would be something like 60 to 49, for example, something like that. You get the point. So that's how you get that map exported. So just figure out what you want to export and make a note of those coordinates. Now that is done, I'm going to export the whole world map, and I'm going to crop it a bit to not grab the south poles and the farthest north of the map. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take max scale, like so. Click somewhere, add 2 more zeros and enter. And then I'm going to lock this scale, like so. And I will go to projects, import export, and export map to image. So, and this part is a little bit tricky, but yeah, just follow along and you will get the hang of it. So, as I noted, this is where you put the coordinates that I just talked about. So since I want the whole world map, I'm going to take it from minus 180 to 180. And I'm going to start at the top from 75. And I'm going to take it all the way down to minus 60, like so. And now we have the resolution. So what we need to think about is especially the output width and height. Both these values needs to be a multiple of 64, just because of the next tool. So keep that in mind. The resolution can be whatever you want, but it needs to be a multiple of 64. So I am going to, I'm aiming for a resolution of 5632 times 2112. And I'm not starting to change this right away. You want to change the resolution so you get as close as possible to the resolution as you want. So just, you just have to try a bit until you are getting close. So see, that's still a bit too much. So let's try to go down to 63, for example. Okay, let's take it up one more. Still not quite there. Okay, so this was the actually closest one. And now I adjust down to get the exact pixels. 5632. And this one, 2112. Like so. And once that is done, then you can just save it. And save it to the folder that we just created. So output QGIS, for example. Yeah. This is the boundary image. Good. When that is done, just remove the visibility of the boundary map and do the exact same thing with the land map. Sometimes you have to restart because you have to always take the pixels down and not up, because then you get something. Yeah, okay. Scratch that. Now that we have the land image done, Then it's the height map last. Cool. Now we have that as well. Now that we have all the map image files we need, it's time to process them through the last step, which is a wonderful tool called MapGen version 2.2. This is originally a tool made for modding of Hearts of Iron. So it's like an unofficial fan-made tool, but it works very well, so we are going to use that one. So link will be in the description, but you can just Google MapGen version 2.2 and you will find it. So let's go here and download this guy. When that is done, just open up the tool itself. And then we are going to drag and drop the files that we exported from QGIS. So first we're going to drag the land image, like so. Okay. And on the terrain input, just generate plains world. If you want this tool to also generate some terrain map for you, you can, give it another input in this one. The province size. Now we have two options, or we can drag our own. So this one is kind of interesting because what it does is that it makes the provinces smaller, like more dense, where the areas are black. So for example, if you want a game where you want more action in Europe, for example, it would make sense to make Europe in black and then have the rest of the world white, for example. But for now, we are going to have a uniform distribution. Here we can also specify the size of the provinces. So for example, I want large sea provinces, so that's not that important for me. So I'm going to change the numbers up a bit, and also going to make the general provinces a bit larger. Yeah, we can do it like so. On the boundary input, we drag in our boundary image, this one. And then let's try to generate a province map. Cool. So now you see that it took our input and created a province map based on that one. Let's create some states. So the state is a collection of provinces, so you group them together. So the red borders here are the input from our boundaries, and that is something the states will keep in mind. So basically now the US will be one state, Mexico will be one state, and all the provinces inside of them will be contained in that state. So yeah, I think this is okay. Go to the height map, so we can drag and drop the one that we have. Like so. And based off of this, we get a normal map, which we want to, which actually the first thing we want to save. So save on this one, and have a folder, the map data, where we output the final image. So this is what we are going to use in game, normal map, save. So we don't forget, let's also save this province map file. And the next one is the text file that contains information. So of course we did that one too. Let's just call it provinces. So, and we want to save the state files. So this is not an image, it's just a bunch of files. So let's create another subfolder for it, because this one will generate a shit ton of files. So file states. Yeah. And we need to save the height map because it has now adjusted it, so it's not the same that we put in. And that is all we need. So let's close the tool and go to the folder so we can check it out. So we have the province map, the normal map, and our height map. And we have the file provinces.csv. So we have our province ID, first column, color code on the three next, the R, the G, and the B value, and also whether or not it's a land or ocean province. And then we have all the state files, so like so. All right, then we have reached our goal. So we now have the files that we need to create a grand strategy map. Yeah, and if you want to see me implement these files in a game, then like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.